Welcome everyone and welcome to another episode of Gamereactor Live. I am Magnus and today we will be playing the brand new sort of weird little 2.5D offshoot of the gigantuous Assassin's Creed series. I'm talking of course about the Assassin's Creed Chronicles initiative, a line of smaller Assassin's Creed games which will come out during the course of the year and one with a tentative 2015-2016 release date. The first one is Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. China, of course, is one of the locales that Assassin's Creed fans have been asking for a long time, either that or feudal Japan. Now we're getting China, which is the first one in a series of 3. The next one is going to be India, and then we have a Russian one, which we haven't seen much of, but we'll hopefully know more about soon. We will dive right now into Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. I, myself, have played all of the mainline Assassin's Creed games, not because that I am a particularly huge fan of it. I reviewed Unity and gave it a 7, but because I have an interest in the sort of broader story spectrums of the series. So I haven't played this at all, actually, so we'll be going in completely blind. But before we start, I have just a few small things I would like to sort of advocate here. First off, in order to sort of counterpoint my novelty and my new experience with the game, which we'll take in completely from the start, we will have a caller, maybe, if we can get it to work, with a Finnish Gamereactor representative, Ossi Mykkänen, who went to see Assassin's Creed Chronicles China and Assassin's Creed Chronicles India and Russia back when it was originally announced. So we will talk a bit with him, get some insights on the game series, and what future we want for these little weird offshoots of the series. Secondly, we have a quiz right now up on Gamereactor. You can go in right now and check it out, about Assassin's Creed Embers, a sort of weird little animated movie which has come out subsequently to promote the release of Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. We have some questions for you to answer, and we would love for you to go in there and get your answers in and partake in our little competition. So, let's go. We'll be taking questions as much as I can, and we'll be calling Ozzy a little later in the stream. But for now, it's time to go for the completely new, the completely unspoiled version of the experience by just pressing New Game and see what happens. I've never seen the game before apart from the screenshots or reviews up on the site. I've read that, so let's take it from the top. I'm just going to go ahead with normal. So just to quickly reiterate, we're getting some bit of backstory here. I'm going to continue because I don't want to spoil anything from you, apart from we are Xiaoyun, a Chinese member of the Assassin's Order. I'll shut up here so you can listen.
Where is the rest of it? We know who you are. We know who you were. You've come far for someone who was merely once a concubine. I will ask you again, assassin. What is this box? Where did it come from, and what is its purpose? Why continue to resist us? Look around you. No one is coming. We wiped out your order. There is no escape from here.
Why would I want to escape? I am exactly where I want to be.
Such arrogance! Ma Yongcheng will make you talk.
Let him try.
No wonder your kind fell so far.
My kind isn't done yet.
All right, so with a brief little introduction here, apparently there's a box which has a tremendous amount of importance and wealth. And as you can see already here, the sort of mainline change is already completely visible if you know Assassin's Creed is that this is 2.5D, or right now just 2D. Right now I can see the controls are as heavy as... Yes. So the first thing I noticed, and one thing you will notice in our review, is that the backgrounds have a sort of animated or slightly brushed painting style, which looks really beautiful. If you're injured, the cone will turn yellow. Yeah, right. I've got a question already now from Indian Cobra that asks what the trophies are like. I actually have... I'm so new to Assassin's Creed Chronicles China that I actually don't know much about the trophies. One thing that I do know is that it takes a lot of the inspiration from Clay Entertainment's Mark of the Ninja, if you don't know what that is. And Mark of the Ninja was notorious for its hard achievements, especially because that almost all sections of the game were graded, which means that by the end of each section you would get some type of grade. Ooh. And I'm guessing, we can look at it a bit later, I'm guessing that there's going to be one type of trophy where you need to get a A+ grade in every single section of the game, which might be a bit difficult when you're trying like desperately to shave off the last seconds of one of your times in one of the sections. That's really difficult or something like that. So that's what I'm guessing at least, but as I said, we're gonna try it on a bit later for size. Right now, all I can say is that it controls pretty beautifully, a bit heavy, which you might be accustomed to if you like Assassin's Creed. And I must say that the backgrounds are pretty stunning, actually. All right, so now we're getting, I think we're getting a taste now. Okay, I'm going to do a service especially to Indian Cobra, and we're going to pop out very quickly to see if the game has a platinum trophy. It does not, sadly. So what we did there was sort of an introduction. You see, we got gold there, which was one of the shadow things. So you wait to play through a section. Level is assessed and rewarded depending on your playstyle. There's three main playstyles here. There's the brawler, the assassin, and the shadow. And the sort of what's meaningful is that how do you stay hidden, and do you kill guards, or do you leave them alone? What awards the most points is the shadow, because that's when you're just completely silent. There's no sort of indication of you being there. Don't remain very close to guards for too long, they'll become aware of you and turn around. See, this is the 2.5D sort of stuff. Is that I can move between different planes. So the guards may, for instance, may exist in a two-dimensional plane, as does their attention span. Apparently, those visual cones that were represented, as you can see there. But I can move three-dimensionally between different layers of the game, which I think is pretty cool. It gives some freedom. Apparently, if you read the review, it can get a bit frustrating sometimes having to navigate between 5 different layers. No, now we're getting to... So I just got to whistle. That was a bit of a messy mechanic, but we'll leave it be. And I just got gold again. I don't want to assassinate him. All right. Wow. That was my hidden shoe blade, it seems. That's good. I'm going to pick up this body here and store him. This is very classical Assassin's Creed fare, by the way. Storing bodies. I'm guessing there's going to be some type of hiding in a haystack or... weird thing is, I'm guessing that's why you cheat the game.
Good to have you back, my friend.
Rescue the assassin informant Hong Liwei. Well, I will do that. Find your sword. Time to kill. Yes. Move the left stick up. Oh no. We're just gonna run here. Assassination targets do not count in the... Oh, that's nice. Yes. Very nice. My shadow skill is going to plummet a little bit. Oh, there we get some movement cones. Again, very much sort of typical Assassin's Creed fare. Daniel, can you remember what we're streaming tomorrow? I've not been... What? Oh, yeah. Indian Cobra, and I don't know if you've noticed, I just remembered just now, is that we're starting up sort of a streaming classics thing on Thursdays where the various... I'm just going to use some firecrackers here. 2 seconds. L1 and R. He's disoriented by the firecrackers. Very Chinese, apparently. No, we were starting up a streaming sort of classic thing where the different people that are streaming here on Gamereactor, Sophia, Dory, myself, will be picking our favorite games and streaming them for you, sort of revisiting some of our favorite gaming moments. Sophia played Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and now Dory is going to play Castle Crashers, which is going to be exciting. So, urging you to tune in for that. Right now, apparently he didn't see me, which is very weird, but that's how 2D works. We're living in a 2D world. So actually, I'm supposed to, yeah, I need to stay hidden here. I don't know if I'm supposed to kill the guard, but we're gonna attempt not to, I think. Whoosh. Very nice. An ammo crate, thank you for that. Right now, Xiao Yun is killing this place, I think. And it's all, one thing I thought was cool when I read the initial release and announcement of Chronicles China was, you know, the female protagonists haven't really been explored all that much in the Assassin's Creed universe. We had Aveline, which was the protagonist in Assassin's Creed Liberation for the PlayStation Vita, and later the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, which I really liked. She was really cool. So it's good to see that this can happen again. Now I really want to... Oh crap. I have not been told. Indian Cobra, to answer your question and to sort of divert attention away from my abrupt failure there. What we're doing right now is I can whistle from down here, I think. No. That does not work. We're gonna try again. Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. Well, that depends greatly on Philip, which is sort of our resident From Software expert. You know, me and him did the Bloodborne live stream, and we want him to live stream that. So as soon as we have some concrete plans on this, we'll get back to you. Let's see what I can do here. I do have my firecracker stuff, which I can use. So, and maybe I can just, yes. Very good. And that was Shadow. And I got, yeah, I got a new sword. Sword collected. And we're getting some story here, so. Oh, right, yeah.
Remember to look for signs your opponent is about to strike.
Right now I'm blocking, apparently.
Yes, that's it.
Good combat. Yeah, that's good. Good, yes. While blocking, press X to roll over. Yes. No. Yes.
This tactic is also good to escape from combat. Attack this enemy. Show me how you strike with your sword.
That paintbrush style, I think, really fits the game well.
Standard attacks are quick, but they deal little damage.
I really like that, actually. And very much different from the sort of, at least the Ubisoft tendency to go after that very specific balance between heavy realism and some sort of comic booky style elements that seems to be the thing in The Division, and seems to be the thing in Rainbow Six Siege, and seems to be the thing in Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. So it's nice to see that Ubisoft can sort of go their own way after they made Child of Light and I can't remember that other First World War game, but they've sort of splintered off these past few years and made some very sort of artistically beautiful games, such as the two Rayman games and these two that I just mentioned here. And it's nice to see that Assassin's Creed can sort of evolve into that model as well. But we have yet to see whether or not that will actually work for it. Right now, I'm just staggered of whoosh. That did not. Let's go. Hello, fantastic. Just introduced me to the new mechanics, and here Hong Liwei is currently. I'm gonna go down there for that little. Can I? Yeah, I can. Yes. That's made a mess of them. All right. I'm really looking forward to getting out of these caves. I'm not really sure that it's presented in the best way possible. Now we're getting to Hong Liwei. Hello. And it's just Gao Feng, apparently.
Stay here.
Assassinate the guard. Well, I don't want to. Assassination targets are highlighted in gold. As you can see down there, I had my little score system. One thing that I think, because I'm a completionist in these sort of things, I would be very eager to sort of get an A score or a perfect score in every section of the game. And having that little score system down there is just going to really make things worse. Maybe I can get to that guy. Hello. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I want that stuff over here. One thing that's nice is that it is 2D. It's definitely 2D, but there is that little. I fucked that up. Or did I? Yes, I did. Very nice. That went extremely quick. But then again, it is Assassin's Creed. But I do feel like there is a slight tendency to be a bit harsher on combat here than otherwise. Don't tell me we're going to have to go through that again. Yeah, we have. Good. Very good. Maybe I can get over here on the other side. That would certainly help. Okay, let's go. I can't get up there. It's only for getting down, I think. Okay, we're going to go the hard way. Whoop. The same cool little thing she did there. If I can run, yes, I can. And now he's going to be attracted by his friend, which is going to be good for me. Yes. Bad for my score, good for my confidence. I don't know. One of the things that's mentioned in the review, which I sort of read with a bit of curiosity, was that the guards doesn't seem to be very diligent, like almost at all. At the same time they're on alert, and at the same time they completely seem to forget that you're there. Which is exciting, I think. Okay, I'm gonna try. Yes! I did it. So now I just need to, yeah. She can jump amazing widths. Brawler bronze. Oh no. See that's just not good enough, that jump. Okay, when we get to Gaofeng, I'm gonna try and be a bit more stealthy. Because that was a bit too combat oriented, I think. Whoosh. See, this is more of those backdrops that are really. Yes.
I allow myself to be. I was exactly where I wanted to be. Close enough to kill you.
You see, one of those sort of Studio Ghibli style backdrops there is beautiful. So we're going to shut up now for a story.
Your reach by now, assassin.
One of your tiger brothers must have it. No matter. I will find which one and retrieve it from his still warm corpse.
Do you even know what the box is?
I know it belongs to the Brotherhood.
How naive. Thinking you can retrieve the box. Thinking that killing me will achieve anything.
Killing just one of you will not give me the vengeance I seek. You are the first of the tigers to fall, but you will not be the last.
So we're back here with our score assessment here. It's funny how they sort of taken a bit from their Splinter Cell, both Blacklisted, especially Conviction games, with these three sort of tiers of the way you play the game. And I'm definitely a shadow man, I can see here. Which is good, that's what I want to be. And I've increased my health, which is good. Hide dash, good. Throwing knife, good. Yes, all of these things are good. So now I'm thinking, yeah, more story.
This was once a safe place for us assassins. Some young tigers saw to the end of that. Their forces surprised and overwhelmed us, all but wiping out the Brotherhood. Gaofeng's death will send a message to the Templars. The Assassins have returned.
Here we are. Gaofeng is now dead. We must escape through the vast caves. So we're back to caves, which is a bit disappointing, but we'll struggle on, really. See, I do think it's nice. I think 2.5D games like Mark of the Ninja and like this have their uses in the sense that we're not as bound to the 2D plane, which I think is really cool. So let's go look at, by the way, these environments here are really cool. And then you can see actually that they've taken some, at least, direct inspiration from Child of Light, which I love so much. Eagle Sink. Okay, so I have some access to a map here that I have no context of understanding. So that's good. And Leap of Faith. Very nice that. Good. Apparently they can't see me when they're standing together, which is very weird. But, you know, that's the rules of the 2D stuff. I'm gonna throw a whistle. No. Yes. Very cool. Right now I'm keeping good time, I think. Oh. Apparently as soon as I reach sort of the green safe area, they move away. Weird guards. Weird guards aside, though. Yeah, that was really cool. Gold as well. Right now I'm making, if I must say so myself, stunning progress. Reinforcements are hidden behind closed doors. That's weird. Okay, hide here. Now very quickly, boom. You can dash between different types of hiding places. Oh, that went much better than I had any right for it to be. That's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. Or is it? All right, so here we are. Very nice. There is a sort of fluidity to the movement, I have to say, which I really like. Then again, if you're, I said this in the beginning of the stream as well, if you are in any way, shape, or form familiar with the Assassin's Creed controls in the 3D plane as well, then this will feel somewhat sort of familiar to you. And you'll feel at home right in the controls, which I think is nice that there is some sort of boon for the people that have been loyal to the series for a long time. There is a bit of a snag in, I think, in some types of movement are really fast and fluid and others feel a bit clunky, but this is a small complaint, I think. We're going to choose, and I'm going to throw yes. Probably used for puzzles. Navigate the grottos. We will. Suppose those are full with fireworks. Let's see. Investigate that fallen crate quickly. I will now dash between hiding places very poorly. I have been spotted. But I shall run. Bronze assassin. That was just poor all over. It's okay. I really want to get out of the grottos though, because I don't think that these types of environments are representative of sort of interesting environments that can be found throughout the game. So what am I supposed to do here? I'm going to take these. You can use throwing knives while climbing walls. What? Yes, I know, but... Oh, I can see there's a bit of stuff going on there. Hello. Maybe that wasn't so clever, I think. Or was it? Yes. No. Yes. No. No. Yes. Good. I did that very well, I think. I'm still doing very well. I did that very poorly. Good. Good. Very good. There is a, you know, with guards being so deadly as they are, or maybe I just suck, you know, both things can work. But I do think there is, you are sort of, it encourages you to at least do something stealthy. I'm going to drop this crate, I think, on the guards. Don't know what kind of score that will give me. Yes. Yes. And finally, yes. That went very well. Okay. Gold Assassin. That's because I chose to stay hidden but kill from the shadows. That is that can work as well. Now we're gonna have. Is that how she dodges all the time? I mean, if Neo did that in The Matrix, the movie would have been short. It's only with her back. Oh, yeah. Why do you suck? Okay, that's good. So that's it. This is sort of a very typical sort of narrative tool. The sudden flashback, which contextualizes everything. Okay, that went really well. I was busy making fun of it, I think, when I forgot to be stealthy. I do think that I need to... Well, what do I have at my disposal? That did not work. Maybe I can disorientate this guard over here and run in for the kill. Yes. And get new blades here. All right. This is probably going to roll down again, so I'm going to... See, very nice here. As soon as we got outside, it was not difficult. Look, the 2.5D making incredible use of itself. In the same way Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends did. Sort of boosting between different types. That went not well. It's just so weird, I think, that even the first levels, the decor is like, despite, you know, having... It's the same, actually, when I reviewed the free DLC, Dead Kings DLC, that came with Assassin's Creed Unity, where my main sort of positive thing in Unity was that, you know, the environment and the realization of Paris was so beautiful. And the Dead Kings DLC went away with everything that was in Paris and decided that most of the DLC should happen underground, where the sort of beautiful rendering of the Anvil engine could not be used in any meaningful or interesting way. The same way here, I mean, if you have sort of beautiful paintbrushed environments and start almost the entire first level in caves. Okay, time for the noise start. To lure the guard away from the hay bale. Well, yeah. So I'm being asked from Indian Coburn, and thank you, what my favorite Assassin's Creed game is. Well, that's a really difficult question, actually. I might actually, one of the most sort of, it's difficult to know that which has sort of the most gameplay value. And one thing that you must understand is that I've played Assassin's Creed from the beginning, so I don't have that, you know, well, it's too difficult to understand that kind of stuff. Because I've played all of them and I have the context to understand it. So actually I'm going to go with like a really controversial opinion, and I'm going to say 3 actually. I like 3 the most because it was the culmination of what I thought was some of the most interesting stuff in the Assassin's Creed of lore, and to me that's definitely the sort of the Desmond story. I really like that. Really like the Desmond story. And I thought that it was a very important sort of piece of the puzzle that tied all these Assassin's Creed games together. Without it, I think I did like Black Flag a lot as well, because you know the naval gameplay was really good. But I still think that without the Desmond story to provide context for why you should care about this assassin in particular, I do think that it was very bland. I mean, the stories can be good contained within themselves, but I really needed that, you know, where does Desmond and his gang go next? And I think that was very well represented in Assassin's Creed 3. And despite the fact that the story got a little out of hand, I had a lot of fun as Connor, despite him, you know, being like really stoic, really stereotypical hero protagonist character. I really like 3. But tell me what yours are. I'd really like to know what kind of Assassin's Creed games that you are harrowing as the ultimate version of that universe and experience. Oh, I can actually move between these, I think, down here. Clever. Why is that? Oh no. No, no. Yes, okay. No, definitely it's not a real, I mean, if you're sticking to genre conventions, it's not a real Assassin's Creed game in the sense that it's not a fully fledged open world 3D action stealth game. So in that sense you're completely correct, it's not. However, if Assassin's Creed is bound by universe and story and that type of context and not sort of the gameplay, then it can be a real Assassin's Creed game. That's the thing. These guys are looking at each other in a very weird way. I'm gonna kill him even though it spoils my shadow score. One thing actually that can I actually I thought he was unable to look directly down. That's good. I do think what's really cool is having a lot of issues here. I mean, the game screams Mark of the Ninja to me. I don't know about you guys out there, but this is so Mark of the Ninja. Not as good as Mark of the Ninja, but still, it evokes those same kind of gameplay moments. Even the blood coming from the blades and that sort of gushy paintbrush style sort of evokes that kind of feeling to me, at least. Oh, Bronze Brawler. So bad. He got killed. Birds. Walk past bird cages to avoid disturbing them. Well, sorry. I'm not gonna do that then. So bad. Ooh. I think I might have ruined. The thing is, Saifia, the game is, I think, when our reviewer played it through to the end, I'm gonna try, actually, one thing that's pretty nice. No, that was a noise start and I used it in the wrong way. No, it took our guy, reviewer, about 15 to 20 minutes per level, and there's a dozen levels, means 12. So there should be at least some type of reason to suspect that it has a lot of value. I think one of the positive things in our review was that the replay value as well is pretty high when going after. It's not that you need actually to go for the 100%. It's only that you are interested in playing the various styles that the game has to offer. So I'm sort of guessing that there is a lot of value for the, I think it's £8, which means it must be about 10 euros, 120 kroner maybe, because game prices in Denmark are usually, I'm gonna fuck this up. Sorry. I do disagree with Brotherhood being the best, but I do think that it is a very worthwhile. I liked Assassin's Creed 2 a lot. I do think that if you completely analyze the games and rank them based on the strength of their protagonists, I think Ezio is by far the better one. But I would almost say that if you are I would almost say that maybe Revelations is better. No, I don't know. Revelations, for me, the most important thing about Revelations was that I loved the idea of having... Ooh, he's going to find me now, isn't he? Unless I do that. 75. I think that is, if it holds up and it has 6 hours worth and good platforming sequences, and if you avoid combat because that seems a bit off. Yeah, I would say the thing is I really like Revelations just because I like the idea of having the sort of older, more experienced protagonist. To each his own. I'm gonna throw... Am I supposed to... I think I am, aren't I? I am. Good. Ezio is the man. He is. There's no question about that. It's just, the quality of the games that he's in. And I still think that overall, the story and the stuff that I enjoyed more, even embracing sort of shortcomings, I did like 3 more. Can't quite explain why. He's looking down. They're looking down as well, so it's not completely safe. I'm gonna kill him because I can. And I can't, no. No, okay. Blood gushing from his neck. Oh, if I was trying to sell you the game, how would I convince you? Well, luckily it's not my job to convince you, it's someone else's. But from playing this, I think, I would say that if you have an investment in the sort of broader spectrum of the Assassin's Creed universe, not its games, then there's definitely value for you here. And I think the main thing I would say to you if you were thinking about buying it is that it takes some of the good platforming 2.5D mechanics of some of the other Ubisoft games that you probably liked. For example, Rayman and Child of Light and Valiant Hearts, that kind of stuff, and combines it with a franchise that you are invested in some way. Because you think, if you're buying this, then you need to be interested in Assassin's Creed in some form or way. So, and also I would say, just by the strength of its visuals, I do think that has something to say in this case. I do think it's really pretty. Right now I'm going for more the Assassins vibe because I really need to kill the guards in order for them to get past. I can understand that, you know. Okay, I'm gonna, yes. And I'm gonna get that. And I'm gonna jump and he's not gonna, yes. I mean, look how beautiful that is. I do mean, like, I'm very much sort of a guy that really likes artistic direction more than anything. But looking at this, it is sort of evoking, the same emotions as, I think, a really gorgeous Studio Ghibli backdrop. And I think that has a lot to say. We're gonna shut up for some story.
Is it done?
Gao Feng is dead, Sifu.
As is Ma Yongqing.
The butcher? Good. Our plan worked. Who's next?
Patience, sister. We must move carefully. Zhang Yong and his tigers control the Empire now.
He is down 2 tigers after tonight. Gao Feng did not have the box. I did not retrieve it in time.
Worry not, young one. We knew that was a risk. To allow yourself to be captured without the box would have meant certain death. We will get it back. Maybe the Templars will even lead us to the missing piece.
Perhaps. But now I'm afraid we have just given our enemies a dangerous weapon.
Take some rest, little sister. Together, we will free our land from the Templars and their pawns. Zhang Yong and his tigers. We will rebuild our brotherhood.
So we're back here with a little score. And as you can see, I did poorly, I think. There's not a huge sort of A plus, B plus something, but it seems that I didn't do all that well. But at least I got some new stuff. Underhang. Cypher, the GTA prizes, I've been away for a little vacay in the weekend, but they will be sent tomorrow for all the 3 winners for the GTA stuff.
Those who opposed them into slavery. I have located the box, Xiaozhu. It's in the possession of Yu Deyong, another of Zhang Yong's tigers, the one they call the
Oh, we're getting more story now. There's a lot of these sequences.
I shall pay him a visit.
Tread lightly, sister. The Templars are searching all ships and cargo. They are looking for us now. I know you can kill these lesser men with ease, but I would suggest you remain invisible, a ghost, until you find your target.
See, now we're getting somewhere that's not in a grotto. See, that's really beautiful. No, I'm not excited about Assassin's Creed Victory, but then again, you can't really tell because we haven't seen it really. I recently saw a fantastic movie that everyone should go see. It's called The Tale of Princess Kaguya, and it is sort of it is the Studio Ghibli but only using water-based color, and it's so beautiful and so good, and everyone should see it. And does it sort of make me think of that movie when seeing that sort of moonlit landscape backdrop. It's completely gorgeous. I'm guessing that we're going down here. We are. Interesting, actually, that I'm actually making noise with my footsteps. And I got a shadow gold there, that's good. Look how beautiful that is. I know I'm a bit of a, as I said, I love artistic stuff. But beautiful music and beautiful visual style can really make up for almost anything. I know that in the lounge, in the foyer, in Blizzard's offices, there's engraved in the floor, gameplay is king. And to some degree that is true because the game is played. But I do still think that when you market something as an artistic product and you have beautiful graphics and beautiful visual style and great music and sound, it is really easy to get caught up in that, I have to say. Actually, there was, Kaboka is asking about Kaguya. There was a pre-screening a long time ago. I believe I saw it in the beginning of March, actually, where it was in Gren, but it was only for one night. Before, no, it was not. It was actually in the morning, I believe. I went early one Sunday morning. Really, really beautiful. I do believe that it's coming up now in conjunction with the film festival. I'm not going to kill one of those guards if I have any chance of avoiding it. So maybe if I drop... Oh, I can. Hello? No. Okay, that didn't work. Welcome back, everyone. Well, I think Ubisoft may have heard somewhere through the grapevine that we are not completely over the moon over their new game. I'm pretty excited about it, but there's certainly some people in the chat that are a bit reserved about Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. Ubisoft may have heard us and shut us down, apparently. No, we had a little technical issue and we are picking up exactly from where we left off. Take that, Ubisoft, I guess, somehow. What I'm going to do now, I failed beforehand. That's not going to happen again, so I'm going to do something that's very stealthy and kill, yes, and hurry a little bit because he's going to, no, I'm going to take this body with me, actually. And drop it down. No. Oh, I can't take it with me to another floor. That's good. Assassin Gold. That's really nice, actually. Thank you. So, for anyone just tuning in, we are playing the only recently released Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, a new series of 2.5D platforming stealth games that is set to bring some different context to the Assassin's Creed universe. You may know it as a fully fledged open world 3D stealth action game. This is a bit different anyhow, and you may be familiar with the formula if you've played something like Mark of the Ninja, or even games like Rayman, but that kind of stuff. We are in the game's second chapter, of which there is 12, and we're following Xiaojun here. I'm going to, if I can, I think I may have gotten away with that.
His attention elsewhere.
So now I'm going to use the second one, I think. Oh yeah, I've seen the trailer for A Song of the Sea, and I am planning on watching it. Right now, the only thing that I could ever possibly watch is Daredevil. So I'm sort of buried in that, and then I'll get to watch Song of the Sea. I think it's over its theatrical run, sadly. So a bit nervous about waiting all the way for the VOD release, but I might give it a bash. Boom. Maybe I can get to this. Yes, I think I could. No, I could not. Take that, Krim. Yes. And as fast as Xiaoyun entered, the fast she's gone. Oh, by the way, now that we're having this conversation, by the way, for the rest of you, talk among yourselves. If you liked... Oh, in the air as well. If you liked Song of the Sea and you liked The Tale of Princess Kaguya, watch the French Oscar nominee for last year, Ernest and Celestine. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful hand-drawn animated movie. I love that movie to bits. And you'll probably like that if you like the other stuff. You can't hit me when I'm down here, boy. What I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna die and try this all over again. You see, in this, he completely forgot about me there. I have to say, and this may be an unpopular opinion, I think combat is a bit wooden. But then again, it's not, you can't, as it is very clear in our review, you can't judge it on, normal. It's not an Assassin's Creed game in that sense. Yes, please exit the haystack. Thank you. This is 2D, so I can't get around that flag. No, okay, yes, I just have to... Say goodbye to your life, small petty guard. Yes! I actually dodged that beautifully as well. Oh, there is a Song of the Sea Blu-ray. Then I'm definitely going to get that from Amazon. I really want it. Oh, it's so weird, this. And I'm going to get a very, very poor, I think, score here. Silver Brawler, thank you. Please exit the haystack. Thank you. Now, as soon as we have finished this section of the game and gotten our poor grade, we're going to call up, I think, Ozzy Mykinen. And for those of you who wasn't here in the beginning of the stream, Ozzy went to see Assassin's Creed China, as we're playing right now, but he also saw some of Assassin's Creed Chronicles India and also got a brief glimpse of the Russian version of the game, which is the third in the row of 3. So we'll be talking to him a bit about what he saw on this trip, about what the developers told him about the project, about these 3 intertwining games. And we're going to ask him what he thinks what the Assassin's Creed series can become. You got it. That's good. Yes, I'll perform a standard attack, thank you. Here. Boom. Yes, I get that he has a shield. God damn it. The basis for every sword game ever made. Yeah, so I'm gonna push him off his guard with a heavy attack, and then I can finish the job. Kill him. If there's one thing I don't like, it's rushed tutorials in the form of some weird... I mean, several games has proven to us that it is possible to do tutorials that feels natural to the game, so I don't really see why. I can hide in that chest there, though, which I am going to do. Please hide in the chest. She's not going to hide in the chest. Please hide in the chest. Please. Please hide in it. Please. No, she's not going to. Great. I'm definitely not going for combat, I think. Cut down objects and create distractions. Well, yes, I get that, but let's see what we can do here. Maybe I can distract both of the guards. They're just investigating. Gold shadow. Thank you. Yeah, what? Kicking that civilian in the face just because you have a lantern? Okay. I can't know. First guard, death by destruction. Second guard, what's the point of using that? He's dead. There's a... I could have just, yeah. Fishing net. The same thing, you know, when there is in the Uncharted series and even the Tomb Raider stuff, is how to convey properly that this is climbable surface and this isn't. And in this case, it's fishing net and boards, which makes sense. Die. Apparently, he can hit me from in there. He's good. Yeah, but you're down now, buddy. I'm not doing so hot, but I'm finding the game pretty fun. As always, I think with Assassin's Creed games is that they have probably mushed too many mechanics in here, and 70% of them work. But as always, as it is with most things, sadly, if a movie is good, but one actor is doing a really poor job, that guy's going to stand out much more than all the good actors and all the good scenography and all that stuff combined. So as it is here, sort of a little bit wonkiness in the platforming and poor combat especially is really sort of hampering down the experience, I think. This guy just refuses to die. Completely destroyed me there. Okay, so now that we're smarter and better, we're gonna completely own this piece. First by killing that guy. Then he's going to go to the body, and I can do the exact same thing. Which I am. Which I'm not, apparently. Okay. Die. Good. I'm not going to hide, I'm going to climb. Please climb. Thank you. So when I get up here, I'm going here. And once he's gone, we will stealth across. Yes. Once he's gone, stealth across. Apparently, you can't do that in certain... Maybe if I stand out here? Very weird. But then again, that's the nature of the business. So maybe I can kill that guy. Very weird aiming here. No. Well, now I got him. Apparently he can see my weird elastic sword coming. So now we know, guys. This is so weird. I can't figure out. Can't figure out when they can see me and when they can't, but that's probably just me. It's not you, Ubisoft. Don't shut down the live stream. It's me. Ah, god damn it. I think actually now is a good time to call up an expert, now that you're sitting with a complete novice, apparently. So, what we're going to do is we're going to call in Ozzy. Ozzy is a member of the Finnish staff of Gamereactor, and he went to see Assassin's Creed Chronicles China and heard some more about the other games in the series. And he heard some stuff from the developers about the game, which we're very excited and interested to hear about. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to equip this so I can talk to him. And we are going to call him up here and have him through. Hi, Ozzy. Can you hear us?
Hello. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I can.
Very nice. So, Ozzy, we're sitting here right now and playing Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, which you went to see actually some time ago.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Yeah.
I did. And I saw your. I'm checking your live stream.
Oh yeah.
actually,
So, could you tell us a bit about when they showed the game? What was the premise that the developers wanted to convey to you, the press, about what these Chronicles games were supposed to be?
Well, they brought us there just for the Chronicles China game, and the main surprise was that there was actually these 3 Chronicles games: China and India and Russian. So that was like the main thing they wanted to share with us, like the main surprise. Yeah. The producer was talking before announcing the 3 Chronicles about the movie coming up next year and other games, but just like with a short sentence. But then he revealed that, okay, there's going to be more than just the China you have seen on the internet earlier. So like that was like the main focus of the very short introduction actually for the Chronicles.
Yeah. So now that you're mentioning it yourself, a lot of the fans of the Assassin's Creed series have been worried for some time about franchise fatigue, in that the Assassin's Creed franchise is not sort of reducing itself in its volume. It's actually increasing with the movie, with Michael Fassbender, and now 3 of these.
Yeah.
What did the developers and the producers have to say about that?
Well, they weren't naturally they weren't worried at all. They were actually very excited. They said that they have been planning the movie for example, a long time, and naturally fans have been always playing the games, so they wanted to make those more. But for this Chronicle series, they wanted to do something differently, and obviously they did. And like they said that fans have been asking for something new for the series. Like it's been like all the Black Ship and all the other Assassin's Creed earlier, 3 and 4 and so on, all been basically the same with the new story. So now they really wanted to do something completely different.
Yeah, and it does feel completely different. The 2.5D stuff. I mean, it actually, apart from I think some of the movements and some of the sort of iconography that you might know from the Assassin's Creed, it very much is this weird little offshoot and sort of a different fantasy of what the game might be or might become in the future. So so right now, myself and the viewers here of the stream have experienced what China has to offer. Of course, there will be new elements introduced to the game over its maybe 6-7 hour running time. But what you saw of India, how does that differ from China?
When we came there, and they said that we can play four levels of China, and there was 1 level of India to play with. But unfortunately, I had to, because of my early flight back, I didn't have time to actually play the India. But all the videos they show us from the India game, it looked like, well, basically the system is the same. Like it's 2.5D, and it's using the same watercolor scheme of the how to show it, but the graphical style was completely different. It was so much lighter. It used very much lights and colors. It was very colorful, vivid colors and great contrast. So it's looking same but still completely different. And it took some. They said that they took a lot of influence from the India, from the country of India and of its historical elements and so on. It really showed in the videos we saw that it was different.
Yeah, and I think that really speaks to the strength, at least of the concept, is that they do have this watercolor scheme in common, but that there are several things that you can do with that sort of visual style to make them feel distinct, to make them feel different. Were there any gameplay elements that they sort of specifically mentioned to be different between the games?
They didn't mention it, but I was noticing that there was like larger open areas in the India part. Like, not sure how you would play in those areas, but probably you can go more like towards the screen or backwards from the screen. And also there was huge trees. You could jump on the tree from tree to tree and those kind of things, and poles. So it seemed like there's going to be lots of those climbing and jumping from the trees or that kind of stuff more, which the China didn't seem to have.
Yeah.
For example, for the four tracks I played already.
Yeah. I think I do believe that's true. It is cool. One thing I think that China, sort of in its style at least, is more reminiscent of the first Assassin's Creed game, and now they are introducing sort of with the trees and that kind of stuff, which was one of the big points in Assassin's Creed 3. So they might be revisiting more elements and. I think that there's some like way they're checking all the earlier stuff, like with the China, and probably using the Assassin's Creed 3 on the
more the Assassin's Creed 3 style in the India and so on. True, you may be right.
Yeah, and I do think that's really cool. Did you see anything of Russia? Did they speak about the game at all?
Very little. They said that that's like under construction. They didn't have like anything playable for us, but they showed few clips, videos, and once again the art style changed completely. It was like very heavy, and it was the Industrial Revolution era.
Yeah.
So there was steam machines and all these valves and big cogs and these kind of things. So once again, it was changed completely to a different style, and it seems a little bit darker and way more like inside game. Like you were all the time, all the clips. Well, not all, but pretty much all the clips were inside some rooms and steaming warehouses and those kind of places. So it was once again totally different.
Yeah, I do think that it's really nice to have sort of this very, very distinct, at least in the gameplay sense, but we have yet to see, I think, how different you can make them without losing sort of its main sort of ideal.
True.
So when you saw the game and you sort of were introduced to the concept, do you think that this speaks some kind of volume to what Assassin's Creed can be in the future? I know that you have played some of the games, and now we've spoken a bit about franchise fatigue, and that Ubisoft seemed to go with this very very straightforward approach with it, which is people buy them, so that must mean that they want more.
Yeah. I think they have found a fan base, and well, if you want to say it, like milk the cow.
Yeah. I do think that's true. but my point is that you can perhaps do that. I think that these 3 games coming out over the course of 2015, maybe a bit into 2016, is a way to milk the cow, as you might say, but in a bit more tasteful way.
I didn't mean it as a negative way. Like they really put effort to all the games, Assassin's Creed games, and what I have played. I've played the first 3 games, and I really like all of them. So why not do more? And I think this Chronicle series is like a very nice next step to like make it even bigger. Franchise, like, and found new fans and so on. So I think it's a very nice touch.
Yeah, I do think it's a very nice touch. From what we've played here, it does seem that they are pulling at least on some of the inspirations of earlier Ubisoft platforming successes like Child of Light, Rayman, Valiant Hearts, which seem to be sort of Ubisoft's thing at the moment. There even was a talk at some point about a Prince of Persia game which would use a similar model.
Yeah.
Did they speak about the inspirations from the game at any point?
They mentioned just like the Metroidvania games, like which is that was like all of them. They didn't mention any particular games which were inspired, or not that I remember, but like they said that Metroidvania things are like the main inspiration for this.
Yeah, and it does seem to have at least a lot of the Metroidvania elements to it. However, one thing that I was kind of there doesn't seem to be much revisiting the same areas, which is one of the key features of Metroidvania-style games.
Yeah, true. That they didn't talk about so much. They only like like they said about the levels were that you can complete them in different ways. You can make the side missions, or you can go through the roof or walk through the platforms in different ways. So that was the elements they were talking about, and making it more variable that
yeah,
way.
and there is some elements of truth to that, which I think is really cool. Is the 3 ways that you can complete each mission and that kind of stuff. Is that also that's part of like the main backbone of the game's design, right? And that's also present in India and Russia. Is that correct?
They didn't confirm it, but I think it will continue with the same way.
Yeah.
Because they, when I asked about like, was the China like their first idea and then they just decided to do more, or was it like all the Chronicles, 3 Chronicle games at the same time? They said that they were like meant to be, they start doing all the 3 at the same time, like, so it's decided to make it
also there
like a trilogy straight away. It's not like that there should be first like China and then they decided that, okay, let's make more, but it was from the get-go, it was like doing all the 3 games. So.
And is it, I can't quite remember the name of the developer, perhaps you can, but it's not completely internally developed. Is that correct?
Yes, you're correct. That, if I recall, it was Climax.
Yeah, Climax Games. I think that's true. And Climax Games is doing the entirety of the development itself, all 3 games.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Yeah. Well, that's a bit of an undertaking, I think. Ubisoft is publishing it, and of course, perhaps providing some type of external support.
Naturally, yeah. The Ubisoft is very, very like helping this studio as the ways is possible. Like any way it's possible, but yeah. So they cooperating with the games.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to let you go back to your job, Ossie, and I would thank you so much for calling in and tell us a bit about what it was like to visit the studio.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. It was interesting.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
So that was a bit about, getting the necessary context for if you are thinking about buying. We were talking earlier in the chat about specifically purchasing Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. Then what might interest you is also purchasing both Chronicles India and Chronicles Russia, as these are really, they're not in that way connected. They're connected mechanically in their design. So you might also have some type of interest in buying the entire set. So it's nice to know that there seems to be some type of a mechanical gameplay continuity between the games. So that might be comforting for some of you to hear. I do think it's quite a bit of an undertaking for a studio like Climax to suddenly have to head up the entirety of the Assassin's Creed franchise until Victory comes out later this year. This is the Assassin's Creed people are getting right now, so that is the games that the franchise is being judged by. I think that's a big opportunity and a big responsibility. So, I do think if it continues like this, introducing new mechanics and that kind of stuff, I do think it's worth a purchase. I think it's gorgeous. I think a lot of the platforming works pretty well. I would have loved to have more working combat than this, because despite the fact that you might not think that Assassin's Creed combat works exceptional, it does. I think it does get the job done most of the time. So I'm going to run here and jump down. So, I mean, based on that, I do think it's worth. Yeah, we talked price a bit. It's 75 kroner. I don't think you'll get as much quality game for that type of money on the PS4, for example, for less than that. So I do think there is at least, I think there's a lot of ways that you could commend a game like Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. I do think so, yeah. And especially, one thing that you must not forget is that when Unity came out last fall, and you were one of the lucky ones that bought the season pass for the game before the season pass was decommissioned because of the game's sort of buggy design. If you are one of the season pass holders, the game is free. So that's definitely a reason to own one. But yes, right now, if you're not into Mortal Kombat 10, sorry. If you're not into Mortal Kombat 10 and you are going to play The Witcher, it's going to be a little while until there is a game of at least some type of AAA caliber. There's a little month here, so I would definitely say that based on those conditions, the game is worth having a look at. Ah, he got me. Die, vermin. And I'm just going to say it one last time, I think. Look at how beautiful this is. Whoop. And as it is with each and every Assassin's Creed game ever made, once you sort of, I know this maybe not make much sense, but once you sort of get going, and you start getting some speed on your platforming, and there starts to become some type of rhythm to the combat, I can see myself getting more lost in it than I have. Yes. That was good. I'm just going to jump down there. I got hit. Run, Xiaojun. Run. Not doing too well here on the score, and here we are with some... That's it! And our level score was really poor, so... Increase health, yes. Rope dart to underhang, yes. So what I thought Ozzy was... What Ozzy said, I thought, which was very interesting, we're going to gloss over the story here, just not to spoil too much about it, was that actually one of their main, they said that one of their main inspirations is the Metroidvania games. Metroidvania, as you might know, 2.2D or 2.5D side-scrolling action game. There has to be an upgrade system, and most noticeably, you need to be able to backtrack different environments with new abilities and access new areas. For right now, on the PS4, for example, Axiom Verge is a perfect sort of Metroidvania example of how that's supposed to be done. And it is really interesting to say that that Metroidvania is sort of the main inspiration for this game, because I can't see how this would sort of encourage you to go back, even with new abilities. I think what's interesting is that there is a way for you to backtrack, in the sense that you are maybe doing timed runs, you're supposed to improve your rank or that kind of stuff. No, Peter Wood, actually Assassin's Creed Chronicles is almost on every platform known to man. So whatever console, whatever PC you should be fine. So right now we are getting spotted, yeah. I'm doing the Great Escape here. Okay, desynchronized. Yeah, that's a really good question. And I do think that, well, over the years, we've been introduced to several ways that Ubisoft are doing the development of these huge blockbuster games year on year. There are several ways to do it. And one of the ways you can do it, for example, is You can do the Call of Duty stuff, where you have 3 studios that intertwine between the years. That's one way to do it, and I think that's pretty clever. Another way that these developers usually do it is to have a lot of people on simply to sort of make it go. And in this case, I think that is the Assassin's Creed model. Then again, they haven't been completely thorough and completely honest or open about their development process. But one thing that they like to boast with usually is that over 1,000 people are working on each of these titles every year. So what that means negatively for the franchise, which we've talked about a number of times during the stream and here on Gamereactor in general, is that if one of the games makes some type of tragic gameplay mistake, or there are some new additions that doesn't work for some reason, they don't have the time to correct those mistakes or do something different, because for the simple reason that development on the next year's game is already underway. Now this creates some very weird, I think, problems for the franchise, as they are running at such a high development speed that they are completely unable to stop and assess what has worked. I have no idea how to get through these guys. But I'm going to try and do this. So I don't think that it's the waters to test for a new game in that sense, because I think that actually that they have decided into a very far future where these different settings are supposed to be. For example, if there is a feudal Japan one, which I'm almost certain there is somewhere in the deep of the bowels of Ubisoft, it's already planned out. It already has a place in the Assassin's Creed continuity. They already have a sense of the plot. So I don't think that they test this. They say, okay, we want to do one in China, but we don't know if it will work. We'll make this 2.5D platforming game in order to test if people like the setting or not. I think that Assassin's Creed is too much of a game development engine to do that. What is possible, however, is that in some way, the development teams have sat down at one point and said, okay, what sort of locales would we like to explore? And then they decided to do some of them, and some of them didn't work. So for example, what I think is at least a possible outcome is that at some point, this game was meant to be a mainline entry in the Assassin's Creed universe, where Xiaoyun was one of the big one of the big characters that they were using. However, at some point, they may have decided that China was too risky. They may didn't like the way the game looked or felt, or for whatever reason. So, what ultimately must have happened was that they decided that this was interesting, but not interesting enough. And that's why it became, I think, a 2.5D game. So at some point, they could release Assassin's Creed games without having to rush the bigger development teams more than absolutely necessary. And for that kind of stuff, as we heard Ozzy talk about, it kind of works, because it is an interesting offshoot. Yes. And in that way, you get to play maybe not as the assassin that you want, and in the type of game that you want, but you get to do assassins. You get to play as assassins in locales that you may otherwise wouldn't have. Like, for instance, playing in Russia. Maybe that. Well, I agree and I disagree with you. I still think that this is a real game in that sense, but I do understand you in the sense that you wanted like a real mainline entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise to be like this. What I can tell you is that I really strongly believe that at some point they will do feudal Japan. They will do the rise of maybe the Hattori clans in Japan, and use that conflict, the colonization of Japan, and the rise of Christianity as a backdrop for a mainline Assassin's Creed game. I think that's a given. And it was hinted at some point. I'm supposed to, yeah, there we are. The Poleaxe Guard. Do we get a little, no? He's looking, and he is looking away. And I'm not gone because I could. Well, most of me is gone. That's good. Yeah, I do believe also, I don't know if this is not spoiler for anyone who hasn't played Unity, but as you might know, after the death of Desmond, this is really spoiler heavy territory, so the death of Desmond and the sort of the destruction of the modern day setting. They still have a modern day setting, but the idea is now only that you are working at Abstergo Industries and you're looking for cool moments. You're looking for cool moments for the company to make sort of experiences with. And what that means is that in the beginning of Unity, you see when you log in your Abstergo Industries computer, you see what projects they have coming up, and one of those is a feudal Japan one. No, actually, Peter Wood, the thing is, one of the sort of defining features of a game like this, the 2.5D game, is that it has to be third person. It has to be this type of interconnected but far away camera that you use. So I don't think that this would have any. I mean, from what I've played here, and this is not. Say good night, Chikao. I do think it has like some problems. The game has problems, definitely, but I don't think that any of those has to do with perspective or how I am versed in the action. I do think, sadly enough, that as it is with a lot of Assassin's Creed games, the main issue is movement. I like the weightiness of the controls. I do think that if you are somehow if you're very versed in the Assassin's Creed sort of world and you are familiar with its mechanics, you'll feel right at home. But its weightiness just doesn't seem to lend itself that well to 2.5D combat. So I do think that it is an issue that movement can be so problematic, especially when you want sort of, at least if what you want is very sharp platforming action, that's just not what you're going to find. But then again, the game does several things, I think, very well. I think there's a great sense of place. I like the China stuff. From what I can hear here, it has good music. And it also, I think, has a strong art style, which should not be underestimated either. Well, yeah, as you might know, or at least for the people that don't know, Ubisoft has begun to Oh, that was so annoying, that. Ubisoft has begun to make movie adaptations, or at least working like very heavily and seriously on movie adaptations of their famous game franchises. So there is a Splinter Cell movie in the works starring Tom Hardy, which is very cool, I think. And there is a Assassin's Creed movie with Michael Fassbender. Oh no, I can't die. Yes. No, and what can you say at this point? I do think that Michael Fassbender is a fantastic pick for whatever assassin he'll be playing. I think it's an extremely well-picked actor for the character. If he's Altair, I think there were some rumors at some point that he was Altair. Or if he's Ezio, whatever he is, I think he's a great fit, as is Tom Hardy with the Splinter Cell stuff. What I can't have any sort of, what I can't know is what type of production it's going to be. Is it going to be rated R? Because I want that movie to be rated R, because there is a very sort of sense of graphical violence is there that is really important to the expression. And I am, I think, a bit stuck as well. Can I get up there? Am I supposed to get up there? Before I was thinking I was supposed to grab that little lantern there, but I do not think so. Okay, I'm gonna go down here again. Is there something I have forgotten? Perhaps down here. Doesn't seem like that way. The game wants me to go here. Oh, right. Yeah, I can see that I'm supposed to... Yes. Yes. Very good. Very stereotypical Chinese banter going on here. There we are. Messy combat still. Brawler silver, that's good. We are getting some movement here. No, I want to go through this window. Look at that locale out there, by the way. It's really beautiful. So actually we're, to sort of, I don't know, to sort of give some context, I really, are we going with combat again? Yes. Oh, he got me. Yes. Suddenly there's a lot of... And there's one guy there holding a pole arm, which I'm supposed to, I think, fear. What are you doing? What's she doing? Oh. I think I bit over more than I can chew. I do like the game. I'm this is I'm going to play this copy of the game at home and probably be pretty entertained by it. I do have sort of a root in these Metroidvania style games, so I'm very I'm getting better at combat, at least. I do think it has a lot of value to it, despite the fact that there may be some wonkiness in the controls. I do think still, actually, the fun thing is that despite the fact that this is a very, very, very different Assassin's Creed experience than what you might be used to, I still think it has the same strengths and the same weaknesses as any Assassin's Creed game, actually, which is kind of weird in a way, because you have this game that is priding itself on being different, and it is in a very real sense. However, as with Unity, for example, it's very beautiful, it looks good, it sounds good. There is a strong sense of place, and there are parts of combat and platforming that do feel enjoyable, and there is some elements of the mission design that is pretty innovative and pretty well designed. However, as it is also is with a lot of these titles, let me just see if I can't win this. Come on. No, I can't. But as it is with the mainline Assassin's Creed games, there are too many mechanics for them to be as sharp and work together to form a great foundation of gameplay all the time. So at some points, at least when I've played, I've felt, oh, that is so annoying, by the way, if you could feel this in the controls. I do think it's funny because at times you may feel like that the platforming is razor sharp and the combat is completely useless, and at other times it may be the exact other way around. You've just come out of a great combat sequence where you've really nailed the sort of different aspects of the timing that is required. And it's all down to having too many gameplay elements and having to work together at the same time. Because if this was, I mean, this has worked, I mean, this formula has worked before in Mark of the Ninja, which is one of the great, I think, downloadable games of the last generation of consoles on the Xbox 360. So it's proven that it definitely can work. That, you know, that movement is so stupid. But we're back to combat, so that's something. Here we are. And it's funny because Peter Wood's question is the same answer I would give with Unity. Exactly the same. What's best about the game? Well, looks good, feels good, sounds good, and it still rests solely on the strength of its sort of the universe, the sort of main universe that it's building. That's so annoying, by the way. I think the stream is coming to a halt. Daniel, we have reached 6 o'clock. 5 minutes. Okay, good. We have 2 watches here going at different times. But yeah, so what my ultimate advice will be to you, and I think Ozzy would agree with me if he were here, is that do you like Assassin's Creed games? That is the ultimate and most real truth I can give you. If you like Assassin's Creed games, you will like this. You definitely will. You will like the way that it looks, you will like the way that it sounds, you will probably find yourself home in many of its mechanics, and just gonna see if I can't. You're gonna like a lot about the game. That's the fun part, really. Oh, this is not going well for me. Haha. Ow. Let me in here. Let me in. Come on, mechanics. Don't let me down. Yes, I'm down. Well, time for a sum up. We've played roughly 2 hours. We are in the 3rd chapter, which makes a pretty good value if there's a dozen, and I'm having a bit of difficulty. I put it on normal, and I'm not quite familiar with it, but that kind of stuff, that's all excuses. But they pride themselves on being different, using the Assassin's Creed license to do something different with what you might expect from an Assassin's Creed title. I commend them for that. I think that's brave, and I think it's very brave, especially to take a multi-million-dollar franchise, both in the cost and in the earnings department, and use that name to do something different with it. And I like them taking chances, something that we have mocked Ubisoft on the internet for not having the courage to do. That is smart. And it's very smart to rest on the successes of their sort of hand-drawn water scheme successes like Valiant Hearts, Child of Light, and the Rayman games to create something different and sort of spruce up, put a spin on the franchises that we know. For example, this was also meant, I think, at some point, there were rumors about it, to be part of Prince of Persia game, which was also would have been smart. I would recommend this to you, the 75 Danish kroners, maybe 10 euros, I think, are recommended to you if you like Assassin's Creed, because as it has the same strengths, sense of place, sound, graphics, visual style, some aspects of the platforming and combat, it also has the same issues. Some wonky controls, at times bad combat, and bad tempo between the different gameplay elements. It has the same issues. So, if you like Unity, you like Rogue, you like 3, you like some of the Assassin's Creed games, invest in this, because it's a good little 6-7 hour package for a small price where you get your Assassin's Creed fix. I think that was what it was meant to be. So it's a good, solid, okay/good gaming experience that's going to feel great for the people that really like Assassin's Creed games. We'll be live streaming tomorrow. We'll be playing Castle Crashers with Sophia and Dory for one of our more sort of classical, we play our favorites style streams. So join us for tomorrow's stream, and I hope you've enjoyed this, seeing an amateur getting his ass kicked and an expert in Aussie talking a little bit about what's to come with the Chronicles series. So, thank you for tuning in. See you around. Bye.